Lieutenant Aaron Kale had never wanted fame. He had joined the human Space Corps to explore, to chart unknown systems, not to pilot a weapon of war. But today, standing before the gleaming hull of the experimental war machine, he felt a knot tighten in his stomach. The ship's sensors hummed quietly, scanning every shadow of the distant alien fleet. "Lieutenant Kyle, this vessel is your responsibility," said Commander Vela, her tone neutral but edged with expectation. "Its systems are untested. Alien intelligence has never seen anything like it. You're humanity's first line of defense." Aaron swallowed. Every instinct screamed that this was far above his pay grade. The human war machine was unlike anything he had ever studied, capable of maneuvering at impossible speeds, equipped with experimental cloaking and sensor-jamming technology. One wrong move, one misread, and it could become a floating tomb. Yet even as fear gripped him, a spark of curiosity ignited. What secrets did this machine hold? Could he, a reluctant pilot, unlock its potential in the chaos ahead? He ran his hands over the controls, feeling the subtle vibrations, sensing the hum of dormant power waiting to be awakened. Outside the ship's viewport, the alien fleet glimmered like an ominous constellation. Their sensors were advanced, relentless, constantly probing the void for human presence. Humanity's survival might hinge on a single, inexperienced pilot who had to outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast. Aaron's pulse quickened. He wasn't sure if he was ready, but retreat was impossible. Somewhere in the shadows of the alien formation, the first anomaly appeared on his console. A flicker, a ghost signal. It could be nothing, or it could be the key to turning fear into advantage. The war was about to begin, and a reluctant hero was about to discover what courage really meant. Aaron's fingers hovered over the controls, every muscle tense. The flicker on the display was faint but persistent, a ghost signal that did not match any known pattern in the alien fleet. He remembered Commander Vela's words. "Use your mind as much as your ship. Predict, anticipate, improvise." The human war machine shuddered softly as he activated the experimental cloaking field. The hull shimmered, bending light and energy in ways the aliens could not anticipate. For a moment, Aaron felt a rush of exhilaration. This wasn't just a ship, it was a puzzle, and he held the solution. Suddenly, a sensor ping flashed across the console. The alien fleet had noticed something, an irregularity, a gap in their own scanning algorithms. Their signals faltered, and for the first time, a human presence might slip through unnoticed. Aaron held his breath, then nudged the war machine forward, weaving through the void like a shadow. Every second counted. He tested the limits of the ship's thrusters, banking sharply around asteroid fields and energy debris. The alien ships reacted, but always a fraction too late, their sensors misreading his trajectory. Aaron grinned. Fear was still there, but now mingled with awe. This machine could do things no pilot had ever imagined, and he was beginning to understand its language. A new alert appeared. Multiple alien scanning arrays were converging on a point near his location. He realized the aliens were adapting, but he also noticed a flaw. Their sensors relied on predictable scanning intervals, creating blind moments. If timed correctly, the human war machine could exploit these gaps to strike without being detected. Aaron's pulse raced. This was the moment every untested pilot dreams of, a chance to turn fear into mastery, hesitation into decisive action. One wrong move, and the alien fleet would obliterate him. But one precise move, and humanity could claim its first edge in this silent, deadly war. Aaron's eyes darted across the display as the alien sensors continued their slow, mechanical sweep. The flaw he had noticed wasn't obvious, a tiny gap in the scanning rhythm, lasting mere seconds, but it was enough. If timed perfectly, he could slip past the alien surveillance and strike where they least expected. He adjusted the ship's trajectory, weaving carefully through the void. Each move was deliberate, calculated. The human war machine responded as if it understood his intent, its engines humming in quiet synchronization with his thoughts. For the first time, fear began to mix with confidence. The alien fleet's sensors blinked, searching, recalibrating, but always lagging, always a fraction too late. Aaron felt a thrill surge through him. Humanity's ingenuity, amplified by this untested war machine, was giving him an edge. He pushed the ship closer, skimming past energy debris that would have triggered any ordinary sensor. The aliens' scanning arrays flickered in confusion, signals overlapping and contradicting each other. A sudden warning flashed. One of the alien ships was attempting to predict his path using extrapolated data. Aaron held his breath and executed a sharp, evasive roll, the human war machine twisting in perfect harmony with his instincts. The alien sensors, unable to anticipate such unpredictability, missed entirely. Now, he was within striking distance. With the flaw fully exploited, he activated the warhead's silent targeting system. The alien arrays would see nothing until the impact. Then, destruction. His heart pounded, not from fear, but from the knowledge that he was changing the battle with intellect and timing, rather than raw firepower. In that silent void, Aaron realized something profound. Humans were not just pilots. They were thinkers, improvisers, and problem solvers. One calculated move could topple an empire of sensors, and in the quiet moments before the strike, the reluctant hero felt the first true taste of mastery. Aaron's finger hovered over the release control, a thin bead of sweat tracing down his temple. Outside, the alien fleet gleamed cold and calculated, unaware that the human war machine had slipped past their watchful eyes. The gap in their sensors had been small, fleeting, but enough to change everything. He exhaled slowly and pressed the trigger. The warhead detached silently, gliding through the void. The alien arrays had no warning, no time to react. In seconds, the first strike hit. One of their largest sensor satellites fractured and spun into the black, sparks scattering across the void like deadly fireflies. Alarms blared within the alien command ships. Their arrays flickered, signals crossing, misinterpreting phantom threats. Panic rippled through their ranks. Mechanical, precise, but utterly confused. The human war machine moved with quiet elegance, exploiting each moment of disarray. Aaron's heart pounded with exhilaration and disbelief. He had been terrified minutes ago, unsure of his abilities, yet now he was orchestrating chaos with precise timing and calculated risk. The alien fleet scrambled, firing in every direction, but their efforts were scattered, ineffective. The war machine weaved through debris fields and open space alike, a silent predator invisible to its prey. Then another strike. A secondary sensor hub disintegrated under the guided missiles. The aliens' once confident control grid now reeled in confusion. Aaron realized that this was more than a victory. It was a statement. Humanity was clever, unpredictable, and capable of turning the odds with strategy rather than sheer force. For a brief moment, the void was silent again. Only the war machine hummed, alive and waiting. Aaron's pulse slowed as he prepared for the next phase. The reluctant hero had become the decisive hand of an entire fleet, proving that intelligence and courage could shatter even the most advanced alien technology. Aaron's console blinked with fresh alerts. The alien fleet was regrouping, attempting to patch the holes he had created, but it was too late. The human war machine had exposed weaknesses they didn't even know existed. Every movement he made now sent ripples of confusion through their ranks. He adjusted the ship's thrusters and initiated a calculated loop around a nearby asteroid cluster. The aliens followed, predictable in their logic, trying to anticipate the trajectory. But Aaron had learned their rhythm. Each evasive maneuver was timed perfectly with the flaw in their sensors, allowing him to slip through corridors of empty space they believed impenetrable. For a moment, he caught sight of the alien command vessel, a massive ship bristling with weapons and surveillance arrays. It had become the nerve center of their fleet. One precise strike here, and the tide of battle could shift entirely. Aaron's fingers danced across the controls, feeding the ship's systems small corrections, each micro-move amplified by the war machine's experimental AI. Then came the signal. The aliens had activated an emergency scanning protocol, attempting to predict deviations in his movement. Aaron's mind raced. The human war machine was capable of maneuvers they could never anticipate. He executed a sudden, sharp roll through the asteroid belt, slipping past their sensors entirely. A perfectly timed volley of energy beams and guided missiles struck the alien command vessel. Explosions blossomed silently across its hull, sensors and weapons systems failing instantly. The fleet around it faltered, directionless and disorganized. Aaron exhaled, a mixture of relief and exhilaration coursing through him. The human war machine had proven itself, not just a weapon, but an extension of human ingenuity and courage. Humanity had seized the advantage, turning fear and doubt into a masterful victory. The alien fleet was in chaos. Ships drifted aimlessly, their coordination shattered. Aaron maneuvered the human war machine with calm precision, striking only when necessary, avoiding unnecessary destruction. Each movement was deliberate, each decision calculated. The alien sensors were useless now. Confusion reigned across the void. He glanced at the console, noting the last active enemy signal flicker and fade. Silence settled, not the emptiness of fear, but the quiet of victory. The human war machine hovered among the remnants of the battle, its hull gleaming under distant starlight, a symbol of human ingenuity and courage. Aaron exhaled deeply, realizing how far he had come. From a reluctant pilot, paralyzed with doubt, he had become the decisive factor in the survival of his fleet. Fear had transformed into clarity, hesitation had become mastery. The experimental ship had not only exceeded expectations, it had become a testament to human adaptability. Back aboard the carrier fleet, Commander Vela's voice crackled through the comms. "Lieutenant Kale, report status." Aaron smiled faintly, his voice steady. "Alien sensors neutralized. Fleet intact. Mission accomplished." Across the galaxy, intelligence networks would record this engagement. Analysts would dissect every move, every improvisation, but none would fully understand the human element, the unpredictability, the courage, the ingenuity. Aaron had shattered more than alien senses. He had shattered the belief that humans could be anticipated, controlled, or measured. As the human war machine powered down, the stars stretched infinitely ahead. Aaron looked out the viewport, knowing that humanity had proven itself not just as survivors, but as thinkers, innovators, and heroes. The reluctant pilot had become a legend, a reminder that in the vastness of space, human courage could echo louder than any weapon. The war was far from over, but one truth remained. When humans adapted, no sensor, no strategy, no alien intellect could contain them.